Okay, so in our previous session, we saw how to take some input from the HTML or JSP page, process it into data, and then show back the data. That is what we have seen in our previous session. That will be our Spring MVC model, right? So today we'll be seeing some more things related to MVC. So as I told in the last minute of yesterday, we just thought about working on with forms. So we'll work on with forms. So only thing I want to do is I don't want to use this as my controller right now, this file as my controller, this Java class. So I'll remove this at the rate controller annotation, this request mapping also. So just to make sure that nothing will run, I'll comment everything. Okay, we'll have this just for a backup to check if everything is working, since this file is working properly. Okay, now inside the main controller, let me see, there is one error. Yep, now there are no errors. Let me remove all the unwanted imports so that there will not be any. I'll simply select everything, comment everything, done. Okay, now inside this, let me create a new class. Okay, let me create a new Java class. So let the name of the class be my controller. Obviously this is also a controller, so let me make this controller first. So this is my controller. Inside this controller I am having a public method. So this method is taking a string, and then it is returning something. Okay, before that let me change the name of this, that the name be user info, the method name be user info, and is returning me the file. Let the file name also be user info. Okay, so now basically it's a controller, so I have to give an endpoint. Instead of giving as request mapping, I'll make use of my get mapping method, and this will be my home page. So we already know that this is basically representing a JSP page. So let me create a JSP page for that, a new other JSP. So let me create a JSP page. Let the page name be user info. Good. So basically I'm having a JSP page right now. So let me save this. Go back over here. I'll open my name.jsp and I'll copy these two tags. Whether you use it or not, I'm just make sure that I have these two things. So basically now I can use my form, and also I can use my core tags. Okay. So in this, let the name be, okay, let the title be input user info. Just for our sake, we are giving some input to the user. Okay, so here let me create a h1 tag. So here the h1 tag will be welcome user. Okay, now after this, let me create a form. So in this form, what should you do? This is the main thing. So first thing, I'm taking an input. So don't worry about this path. Whatever this path is, we'll see. Okay, so name. Okay, I am having an input and it's a name. You can do it like this way, or we'll go with a traditional way first. So I am having a form. Okay, there is some action for this. Let me come back to that, whatever that action is, and then inside the form I must take some inputs. So I am using the JSP form here. There is an input. Let this be name. Okay, so this will be my name input. Till now, I hope everyone are clear how am I getting the inputs and all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now after this, let me say gender. Inside gender, there are two options basically. So for male, I'll put up a button, not a button. It should basically be a radio button. So this will be form dot radio button. Don't worry about the path. Whatever that path is, we'll come back to that later. And I have another one that will be my female form dot. Go back to my radio button. Oh, these are the two things. Basically, this is where I am getting my data. Okay, are we clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so till now we have seen how this is going on. So we have created some input over here, and the name of the input is name. Okay.
Sir, you didn't share the screen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So okay, fine. So here I am having a button, and this button is basically telling me it's a male and a female one. Till now, I hope everyone is clear how the forms are being done.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Manish.
Oh, okay. Now I need to display this. Okay, I need to display this data, whatever I'm getting. So for this display, let me go to my controller and then let me create a method. It's a public method and it takes a string, obviously. So for this, let me give the name as display user. Okay, and it is returning me display user. This should be inside the double quotation. Let me put on a double quote, close. And this in with this method, basically I'm getting the information from this. Okay, but for this method I am displaying the information. So for that kind of pages, you will put it as post mapping. Okay, post mapping, and you simply say it is display user, and then over here let me create a new JSP page, your JSP file, and let this file name be as our return type display user finish. So here let me say this is my display page. I'm displaying the user. Okay, what to display and all we'll just check in a minute. So let's go back to my controller over here, and here there is a small thing. Previously what we did is we basically took input from the user, and whatever we took and we are directly displaying it, but the problem here is we are not using the post method over there, but here we are using the post method. And there for model, what did we do? We took the parameters directly from the method. right? But now here I don't want to do like that. For here, for model, I want to create a class. Before creating a class, let me first create a package. So I have a package and I'll call this as model package. So inside the model package, I am basically having a class. Let me first change my perspective. So open perspective, and the perspective will be Java perspective, not GitHub perspective. Yeah, and this is basically a Java W version type of a program enterprise. Yes, good. So now let me go back to my Java resources, sources, inside the model, new class. So this class will be a user class. Okay, we have a user class. Inside the user class, there is a private string name. Okay, let this name be small, and there is also a private string gender. So those are the two things I've created in my user info. So these two things I am basically planning to take it as a model. So I am creating a class, and those two are my variables. I'll make it more short. Instead of doing like this, let me do it like this. So there will not be any issues and the code looks a bit simpler. And here, let me quickly create my getter and setter methods. So select all, generate all the getters and setters. So, and also I need my toString method also to display whatever I'm having. Good. Now basically I'm having my toString method and also my getters and setters method. Now inside the main controller, I have already created my post mapping display user method. In this method, since I am giving the input as a model because that is my data, I put on an annotation called model attribute, and the model attribute is user. For this user, I am creating an object called user. Let me import this package quickly. Now I have my package, user package is ready. Done. Till now, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And here basically I want to give it a model and view type. So let me say model and view, and even the return also I am giving a model and view type return. So before giving the actual return type, let me create an object for my model and view class. So model and view, model and view is equal to new. Okay, model and view. So this is a constructor. Basically we used to give the class name over here. Instead of giving the class name over here, we will give it over here, and this will be my display user. Close it, and I am returning my model and view over here. Done. So till now whatever we have given is good, but now the question over here is, what is this path? So what should I put inside of this path is basically the first question. Okay. So the path is basically means the getter methods or the setter methods. So here, what is the path for name? The getter method for the name is name only. So here inside the path, I'll basically give the object for that particular thing. And here also the same thing. This will be your gender, and this will be your gender. And what should I put in the action? So let me make this also as a JSP type form. Yep, now this is also a JSP type form. Let me end the same thing. Let's make it clear for everything is cool. Now the action over here is the method name which I have given over here. This will be the method name, so this will be the link. Always remember, you should not give the method name, you should give the link. So action is the link. Okay, and don't forget, since we are using a model type to pass in the data, you must also provide the model type over here. Once you put this, you can see model attribute and the class name or the object you created for the class. For this user class, basically we created the object user over here. Now you can see that user is there. Okay, till now I think everyone understood what is going on. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
instead of using the break, let me use a paragraph and quotation, end it with this, and after the gender also I want to do the same thing. I want to end it. Done. So we took the name, we took the gender. Basically, after taking the gender and all, I should submit it. JSP form is not having any kind of a special submit tag, so I'll use my native one. So input, say type, submit, value, name, whatever you want to give, you give that, put it as submit, self-closing tag. So Control Shift F, formatting, done. Save this and let me once run this on my server. Let us see that there are no errors. So let me see what happens. Yep, it is giving me an error. So what is the error over here? So it is telling me error processing view user info.jsp at line 15. So let me go back. What is my line 15 over here? This is my line 15 and I don't see any error in this. Name user. Okay. What is my web content view? Do I have a display user.jsp? Yes, I have a display user.jsp and the error is in view info at this stack overflow error. Okay. Let me go back. Action display user. So inside the request mapping. Okay, first let me go over here. Everything is good, but where am I taking the info? Me taking the info is also needed. Okay, so let me see. Let me make these particular changes. So before that, let me create a model and view. A model and view which is equal to my new model and view which is taking my user info string. It's a page. Done. I'm basically returning my model and view. Okay, till now this is good, and basically I need to have some user information over here. So let us say that user is equal to new user. Okay, so now I think the name will take for user because it is asking me for this is the error. So let me save this. Server is restarting, reloaded, completed. Let me go back over here, refresh this. Okay, I'm getting the same error. No, it is a different error. The binding result target object bean user is not available as a request attribute. Let me go back over here. So till now everything is okay. Okay, so basically I created the user, but this is a model and view type, so I need to give these objects also. So add object, and this is a first thing is what I need to basically create two things over here. One will be my user object. Let us say that this is my user. Let me close this. I think the error is for user, not for the name. Yes, good. So whatever the basic errors on this is happening, I think, let me rerun. Yep. So any idea what I did till now? Any idea on what I did till now?
Yes, sir.
See, first understand this, forget about the errors. Let me go to the first page. So I'm creating a method for taking the user info, and I'm taking the model and view. We have seen already what is model and view in our previous session. So inside this model and view, basically I'm passing the JSP file. So let me go back to my JSP file. In this JSP file, first thing I've created a welcome user tag, and then I've created a form. So in this form, I am telling that the action is this particular link which I have assigned to my display user method. Sorry, user info method. Then I am taking a model attribute, because whatever the things I am giving here as inputs, those things are coming from this class. Okay, after they are coming from this particular class, so I have given a model attribute over here, so that the model is user, take anything and everything from here. Okay, and the name, the path of the name is name, because inside the user class I have given two objects, which is my name and gender. So the same thing I am doing over here. I am giving the name for this and gender for this. So this box radio button, whichever I activated, that particular value will be stored, and then I am submitting this. So are you clear with the user info.jsp file?
Yes, sir.
See, if you're having doubt, it's pretty much okay. You can just ask me. Then I'm going to my regular my controller. In this my controller, first thing is I'm saying it's a model and view type. So I create an object for model and view. Second thing is, inside this get mapping, I must basically pass my user. And model and view, anything and everything should be passed as an object. I must add it as an object. So I add this as my particular object. Okay, so this user is will basically be my this user over here. Got it? Fine.
Yes, Manish.
Let me use some input. Okay, so this is my display user page. Don't worry, display user page, I have not written anything, so it is simply giving the title as display user and nothing is happening over here. Let me go back and let me fill up my display user. So inside this display user, I don't want to do anything right now, so let me say I'm just giving the user dot no defaults. So let me say name, and then I'm having another one that is my gender. Let me say this is my gender. Control Shift F, everything is in normal mode. So let me give okay, now let me put this. Done. Save this. Let me go back over here. Let me see what all kind of errors will come. Okay, this is basically not taking the values. The name, everything is okay, but it is not taking any values. The reason why it is not taking any values is because I'm trying to print name. This should be user.name and this should be user.gender. Save this, go back over here, refresh this, retry. Okay, I'm getting the name, I'm not getting the gender. Maybe I'm not selected it. Let me select this, tape it, good. Ah, okay, let me go back to my main controller. Let's see what is the problem with the gender case. So over here I'm taking user, and user is basically getting everything. As far as I know, everything is cool. Let me put out a system out user, save this, go back. So let me check where the error is. Okay, and then am I getting the output somewhere? No, I didn't get any output. Let's go back. Okay, it is giving null and null right now. Monash. Good. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm sorry. Same mistake again. I've given the model for user. Basically, it should give me everything. I'm printing the user. It is taking the name. Let me go to my user.jsp and gender. That is good. Here the name is gender. That is also good. Mm-hmm. So let me see what the error is. Let me see if there are any variables there. Labels, titles, value. Inside the value, let me put on as male, and this is my female. This is the value. I'm not given the value, so it is basically giving me an error. Saved. Go back over here. Let's go back. Type this. Manish. Submit. Now you got the answer. Done till now. Is it
Yes,
confusing?
Monish.
Yes, sir.
Uh, that yes is for understood or yes or confusing yes?
Understood, sir.
Understood.
Yeah.
Anyone else in the call? Nitin? No.
Shambhavi.
Shambhavi? Shambhavi understood anything or understood nothing? Okay, I think she's sleeping. No issues. Or else her laptop must have been stuck. That is also not an issue. Okay. So now we saw basically two types of things. One is basically getting the model information directly from the parameters. Now here I am directly creating a class. So what is the advantage? If I have a class like this, basically in future, if when I'm working with our JDBC kind of a things, imagine the scenario when you have your JDBC attached. If you have a class, all this information you can directly send it to the database. That is the one heavy benefit of using the model attribute. And let me make some small changes over here. One, this model attribute user, it already Java already knows that this is the model, so you no need to specify if you have only one model class. If you are having many, at that time try to specify it, otherwise there is no need. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Let me make some minor changes over here, and let us see what are all these minor changes. One, go back to my user info. See, here we are taking two things, right? What is one? One is radio button female and male. But in our forms radio button, there is another option which is basically radio buttons. So let me cancel all these things. Let me go to forms. Okay, in this form, you can see over here, there is an option for radio buttons. Not one, but two buttons. So what is this? The path is common, it is gender. Okay, so now I need to specify something else over here, the values or the items. I need to put two items inside this. So how do I put it is the question. Let me go back. So the input, basically the input is taken over here itself, right, inside the get mapping. So I'll remove this. This is not basically required right now. So now let me go back and say, I don't know how much familiar are you with the map. So map, we'll be using the map over here. So let's say Control Shift O, so that map will be okay. Let me first import the map. Yep. So basically I'm having the map. So inside this map, I must take two elements, that is the key and value. So the key and value both are of string type. Okay, and for this I'll give it as gender map. That will be my object, which is equal to new hash map. Okay, and this also must have some generics. Good. Now let me start importing this. Import hash map and also import map. So now we have both our hash map and map pretty much ready. Okay, now the thing is, let's start adding some values. So gender map dot, we use the put method over here. So the key for male is male, and this will be the value. Let the value be capital M, just for a small difference. Copy this, paste it, and here let it be female, and here let it be female. Okay, and let me save this. Okay, let me go back out to user info, and after this let me say items. So what are these items, and this, and from where am I getting these items? So the question over here is, what are these items and from where am I getting these items? Okay, any idea from where? Come on
No, sir.
guys. Basically this item is my regular gender. Okay, so whatever we are having over here, this map, okay, we are basically adding all these items to the object, model and view object. Once you add everything to the model and view object, you will have a clear picture. So basically I created a gender map, right? So let me go to model and view dot add object. Inside this add object, I'll save this as gender. So all these objects are basically, I'm simply giving the name as gender. So the same thing you will be giving over here. The items are from gender map, but the key which I've given, the name which I've given is gender. Save these two. Before it was, refresh. Oh, it is giving me an error, and the error is on line 17. This is my error. Good. Let me go back over here. So this is having the items gender. Let me go back over here. Male gender. Everything is almost proper only. So let me see what is the error over here. If this, and the error is root cause items must be an array, a collection, or a map. Yeah, obviously this is a map. This is a map only, dude. Okay, let me say this is of string type, this is of string type, so that any internal errors will be solved. Let me refresh this. Illegal argument error, the attribute items must be an error, a collection. Okay, so basically this is a Java item. I should put this like this, not give a string. Now let me run this. Good. Understood how the output is running?
Yes, sir.
And one more thing over
Yes,
here, before it was male and female. That the reason that was running, that is because we gave the inputs. Okay, but now it is male and female, so female and male, because the map will automatically take the map doesn't have any order, so every time you refresh it may give you a different order. So you give some input name, put a submit. You're getting all your values properly right now?
yes,
Yes.
Manish.
So now you can see that basically there are no errors also over here. Okay, I'm having an error. This is an interesting error. What is the error? The items must be an array, that is already solved, my dear. So let me go back. So for now there are no particular errors on anything. Hope you understood everything till now.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
Manish.
now basically I have taken only two things. Thing number one, name. Thing number two is gender. Let's try something else. Let me go to user info. After this, let me say from which country the person is, and for this I can't basically ask him from which country he is, so he may enter anything. So we should give him, right? We should give him some options so that he'll select. So for that, go to this form.select. Okay, I don't want to give like this. I'll give a self closing tag, and this is a path, and there will also be some items in it. So these are some items, and this definitely will be a Java object. So let me write it at the beginning itself so that I'll not make the same mistake again. So now let me save this for a second. Obviously at the background it will be showing some errors. Let it show. And here I am creating a new variable, that is my country. Source, getters and setters. For country, generate them. So for country I'm having my getter and setter. Okay, so for now this is good. And in the display also I must have some things. Yeah, it is basically showing some errors. let the errors be showing itself, and this is basically user dot country. Okay, let me save this. I'm having the user, I'm having the display method, I'm taking the inputs. So here the only thing left is these two. Let the path also be country, since I've given the variable over here for country. So the only thing left is my items. Okay, anyways, I've decided to give country itself, so let me give it, let me save it. This is basically will be showing me an error at the background. So first let me create some country items. So for this, what should I use for country? Same thing, map string string. Let this be a country map, which is equal to no my. So let's say hash map string of string colon, and now country map dot put two things. First one is India, and I have an object. This will be the value. So let this also be India. Put a colon, format, copy it. After copying this, let me paste it a couple of times. So let me type the easiest ones: USA, USA, UK, UK, and let this be Iran. If you find a country name which is smaller than 4 letters, that will be more good. Okay, now the next thing is, everything is done, add these objects. So I must add these objects. Remember, I have already given the string as country. Done. Go back over here, refresh this. I'm having my country. I can select Monish, mail, submit. Got all my details?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
Monish.
basically, this is the way how all the things in our background of the
Hello.
hello.
Yes, sir.
Ah, sleeping everyone?
No, sir. Your
No,
voice is so
Monish,
that's
your
why we are
voice is
waiting.
only not audible.
Okay, okay, cool down. Okay, now we have a name, gender, and country. Let me put two things at the same time. Information. So I want to ask the user for some information, and let that be a text box, or here we call it as a text area, and I'm giving the name as info. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the basic information which I wanted to ask him, that too in the form of a text box. Okay, now this will be one type. I want to add another thing also over here, and that one will be my skills. So let's ask the user for some skills. Assume that he is applying for some. So I'll directly put check boxes. I don't want to type everything over here. So let the item be skills, and the path of this be also skills. Got it? So
Yes,
let me
sir.
go back to this. Let me save this. go back to my display. So inside the display also, let me create a parenthesis. Done. So here information, so whatever the information I'm getting from the user dot, this is info. So remember the variables which I'm giving over here so that we don't mess up things later. And after the information I'm asking him for a skills. What are his skills? Info. This will be my display, this will be my taking the information. After all this, now let me start giving the information. One for info, it is new string like this, or else you can directly give 2 colons, that is also enough. Okay, before that don't forget to add in the variables info properties, and the other one are skills. So control shift F, save this and go for source, getters and setters. Okay, there is something wrong. Go for the source, getters and setters. So I need for skills and info both, generating them, and I think I don't need the toString anymore, so I'll remove that. Save this, go back to my controller. This is my info method, so whatever the info I am getting over here, I am just passing it to my model and view dot add object, and this will be a string info. Info is the object. Done. Information is basically added. Now let me go to map, string comma string, and this will be a skills map, which will be equal to new hash map, and this is skills map dot put. So since we are using Java, we'll use Java itself, otherwise Java will feel bad. So Java, copy this, paste it, paste it, paste it, paste it, paste it. So let us say the next skill is Python, and the next skill is Spring. Let's not hurt anyone's feelings. Spring, and my favorite, MySQL, and any other skills. Git, Git, AWS, AWS. So these are all my skills. Okay, I got all my skills. I just put it everything in the map. After everything is done, so I'll simply say model and view dot add object string object. So here the object is basically skills. Done. Save this. Everything is done. I hope the uploading is also done. Refresh this. Hope I'll not get any errors. I got the error. Okay, let me see what is the error. Oh, you just come down. Line number 23. Line number 23 is giving the error on user info. Yes. So line number 23 is this. Okay, what is the error over here? Skills. Everything is skills only. Let me format the things. Oops. Problem is this should be path and this should be items. Save this now. So the running is happening. Go over here, refresh. You got everything. Okay. No need of the console. Now let me give some inputs. Monish, India. Information. My favorite quotation. Skills. Okay. All the above. Okay. Small error over here. The skills are also showing the information. Let me go back. Skills. Everything is good over here. This is info. This is info. Done. Let me go to user info. Okay, information, path is skills, item is skills, user.info. Yep, here it should be skills. Refresh, refresh, retry it again, not a problem. Now you got everything. Got it?
Yes, sir.
This is basically our MVC model with get and post. We are getting the information and posting the information, everything in a simultaneous string. Got it?
Yeah.
Any doubts on this? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. This is a very basic one. I know that the website doesn't look any awesome thing. We are just making it a development slow by slow. So if you know how to take input from the user and post it, okay, so 50% of the job is already done because you know how to create the data and you know how to post it. Okay, so here we are showing it on the same website, but imagine the same thing if you do it with the help of Hibernate, which you have already gone through. Then you can basically send the information to the database. All the CRUD operation, editing, retrieving, deleting can be done with the help of Hibernate. It is more simpler than using JDBC. So there the 80% of the part is done. So you take any website, the only thing they are doing is a CRUD, nothing more than that. So make sure you first take the data properly and post it properly. Try this on your own, you will understand it way better. Okay.
Yes, sir.